Look around you, right now. Look at the room you are sitting in. Think about the phone or computer you are watching this on. Think about the job you complain about, the partner you argued with this morning, the body you wish was just a little bit different. Now imagine waking up tomorrow and it is all gone. Your home burned to the ground. Your bank accounts frozen. Your partner walked out. Your health stripped away by a sudden, terrifying diagnosis. You are left with absolutely nothing. Just you, the clothes on your back, and a crushing, infinite void where your life used to be. How does that feel? Panic, dread, a desperate urge to click away from this video and watch something that makes you feel good, something that tells you everything is going to be okay. We live in a culture terrified of the dark. We are intoxicated by the cult of relentless positivity. Good vibes only. Manifest your dreams. We are told that if we simply imagine the perfect life, the universe will hand it to us. We build our psychological houses on the fragile foundation of hope asterisk, the hope that tragedy will always happen to someone else, never to us. But what if I told you that this obsession with positivity is exactly why you are so anxious? What if the relentless pursuit of feeling good is precisely what makes you so fragile when things inevitably go wrong? Today, we are going to look at a secret psychological weapon forged over 2,000 years ago. A technique so deeply counterintuitive, so utterly offensive to the modern mind, that it feels like self-sabotage. It is the practice of staring directly into the abyss of your worst nightmares on purpose, and it is the only true path to bulletproof happiness. To understand why we need this, we first have to understand the fundamental flaw in human psychology. It is a glitch in our biological programming called hedonic adaptation asterisk. Think back to the last time you wanted something so badly it consumed you. A new car, a promotion, a specific relationship. You convinced yourself, if I can just get this one thing, I will finally be happy. I will finally be complete. And then you got it. For a week, maybe a month, the dopamine rushed through your system. You felt like you conquered the world. But then, quietly, insidiously, a shift occurred. The new car just became the car. The dream job just became work. The perfect partner started chewing too loudly. The baseline of your happiness reset. You adapted. This is the hedonic treadmill. We are running to the point of exhaustion, chasing an ever-receding horizon of satisfaction. We are cursed to rapidly normalize our miracles. Because of this, we live our lives in a state of chronic, low-grade dissatisfaction. We take the magnificent, improbable reality of our current lives completely for granted. We are wealthy beyond the wildest dreams of our ancestors, yet we feel impoverished because our neighbor has a slightly greener lawn. And more dangerously, because we take our lives for granted, we subconsciously assume they are permanent. We assume our health is a given. We assume our loved ones will always be there. We assume the roof over our heads is an undeniable right. This is a delusion, and the Stoics knew that reality is a brutal alarm clock for those who insist on sleeping. Over 2 millennia ago, a Roman statesman, playwright, and philosopher named Seneca sat down to write. Seneca was a man who understood the precarious nature of life. He was one of the wealthiest men in Rome, an advisor to the Emperor Nero, yet he suffered from chronic illness, faced political exile, and eventually was forced by the unstable emperor to take his own life. Seneca did not deal in theoretical fluff. He dealt in the survival of the human spirit. and he wrote this profound truth. He robs present ills of their power, who has perceived their coming beforehand. What is quite unlooked for is more crushing in its effect, and unexpectedness adds to the weight of a disaster. The Stoics called this premeditatio malorum the premeditation of evils. It is the deliberate, systematic practice of visualizing the absolute worst-case scenarios. It is not pessimistic rumination. It is not letting anxiety run wild. It is a highly controlled clinical exposure therapy for the soul. When you sit in your living room, the Stoic asks you to close your eyes and imagine the house catching fire. When you kiss your spouse goodbye in the morning, the Stoic asks you to visualize that it is the last time you will ever see them alive. When you look at your hands, the Stoic asks you to imagine them paralyzed. At first glance, this sounds insane. Why would anyone willingly induce that kind of psychological pain? Why invite suffering into the present moment? Because of the aha moment it creates. Let me walk you through exactly how this works in practice. Let us break down the mechanics of negative visualization step by step, using a profoundly relatable example. Imagine you are terrified of losing your job. The economy is shaky. Rumors of layoffs are circulating, and your boss has been distant. The modern, positive approach tells you to ignore the fear. Focus on abundance. Visualize your success. So you suppress the fear. But suppressed fear does not vanish, it mutates. It turns into a low-grade, suffocating anxiety that colors every interaction. You become defensive. You lose sleep. You are hostage to an event that hasn't even happened yet. Now apply Premeditatio Malorum. Instead of running from the fear, turn around and stare it dead in the eyes. Visualize the exact moment you are fired. Your boss calls you into the office. The HR representative is there. The words are spoken. We are letting you go. Do not stop there. Keep visualizing. You pack your desk into a cardboard box. You walk to your car. You drive home. You tell your family. Notice the visceral sensations in your body. Let the fear wash over you completely. Now from the bottom of the abyss, look around. You are unemployed. It is uncomfortable. It is scary. But are you dead? No. Has your ability to reason been destroyed? No. What is your actual reality in this worst-case scenario? You will have to cut back on expenses. You will have to update your resume. You might have to take a job beneath your status to pay the bills. You might face rejection. Suddenly, the terrifying, amorphous monster of losing my job is reduced to a series of practical, solvable inconveniences. As Seneca observed, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. By mentally walking through the worst-case scenario, you realize that you can survive it. You realize that your internal citadel, your character, your ability to adapt, your capacity to endure, is infinitely stronger than your external circumstances. You have robbed the future ill of its power simply by perceiving it beforehand. But conquering fear is only the defensive half of negative visualization. The offensive half is what transforms your daily existence from mundane to miraculous. Let us return to the hedonic treadmill. You are bored with your life. Your partner annoys you, your house feels too small, your routines feel suffocating. Tomorrow morning, I want you to try this. Sit in your kitchen with your cup of coffee, close your eyes, and visualize with terrifying clarity that your partner has died. Imagine the agonizing silence of the house. Imagine looking at their empty chair. Imagine the crushing wave of regret for every petty argument, every moment you ignored them to stare at your phone, every time you took their warmth for granted. Feel the absolute devastation of never being able to touch them again. Hold that unbearable feeling for 30 seconds. And then open your eyes. Your partner walks into the kitchen, yawning, complaining about the weather. In that split second, they are no longer an annoyance. They are a miracle. They have been resurrected from the dead, given back to you for one more day. The mundane reality you were utterly bored with just moments ago is suddenly flooded with profound, tear-inducing value. This is the ultimate genius of the Stoics. They realized that you cannot artificially manufacture gratitude by simply making lists of things I am thankful for. Genuine gratitude is born from the stark, visceral realization of impermanence. You do not truly value your health until you visualize the diagnosis. You do not value your freedom until you visualize the cage. You do not value this exact second of your life until you realize that the sand is running out of the hourglass, and one day, the glass will shatter. When you practice negative visualization, you are inoculating your mind. Just as a vaccine introduces a dead or weakened version of a virus into your body, so your immune system can build antibodies. Premeditatio Malorum introduces a simulated tragedy into your mind, so your psychological immune system can build resilience. When you have already mentally buried your loved ones, when you have already mentally lost your fortune, when you have already mentally endured the collapse of your reputation, what can the world possibly do to you? You become unfuckwithable. Not because you are cold or unfeeling, quite the opposite. Because you have accepted the fundamental truth of the universe. Everything is on loan. Epictetus, another towering figure of Stoicism who was born a slave, put it brutally. With regard to whatever objects give you delight, are useful, or are deeply loved, remember to tell yourself of what general nature they are. If you kiss your child or your wife, say that you only kiss things which are human, and thus you will not be disturbed if either of them dies. This is not a morbid detachment. It is the most profound form of love. It is loving something while fully acknowledging you cannot keep it. It forces you to love them perfectly right now asterisk, because right now is the only thing you actually possess. Let us bring this back to you, the person watching this video. You came here because you want a better worldview. You want to stop feeling so anxious, so trapped, so vulnerable to the chaos of the modern world. The toxic positivity industry wants you to close your eyes, plug your ears, and scream everything is awesome. Until you believe it, but deep down your subconscious knows it's a lie. Your subconscious knows the chaos is coming, and that dissonance is what creates your anxiety. The Stoic path is harder, but it is real. Look at your life. Look at the things you are terrified of losing. You will lose them. Look at the failures you are terrified of experiencing. You will experience them. Look at the death you are running from. It is already walking toward you. Do not look away. Stare into it. Let the reality of disaster and loss wash over you in the safety of your own mind. Realize that you are strong enough to survive the wreckage. And then open your eyes. Look at the fact that right now, in this exact moment, none of it has happened yet. The house is still standing. Your loved ones are still breathing. Your heart is still beating. You are living in a temporary paradise that you previously mistook for a prison. You don't need a new life to be happy. You just need to realize that you are eventually going to lose the one you have. The worst has already happened in your mind. Now, go live.